Oral caresses, particularly cunnilingus, are an integral part of intimacy for many guys. However, the frequency with which men practice cunnilingus can depend significantly on the prevalence of factors. Understanding these factors, as well as women's attention to it, allows for a better understanding of the dynamics of intimacy and supportive relationships. We will now discuss the factors that influence the frequency of cunnilingus. The first influences are communication and rapport, as well as personal confidence and experience. Open communication between partners about their desires and preferences can greatly enhance oral caresses. Men who feel confident and know that their partner is enjoying themselves are more likely to engage in more frequent cunnilingus. A man's experience and confidence in his skills play a whole role. The more experienced and confident a man is, the more likely he is to cunnilingus a man frequently, because it can bring pleasure to his partner. But cultural biases can also have an impact. In some cultures, cunnilingus may be less common due to stereotypes and taboos, physical health and hygiene. It is important for both partners to maintain good solid health and hygiene to feel comfortable during oral caresses. Working on self and partner was organized by more frequent and pleasurable intimate moments. A survey conducted by a reputable men's publication, in which about 1,300 men took part, showed that the vast majority of the strong half of mankind treats cunnilingus quite calmly. 93.3% periodically do cunnilingus to their partners. It should be noted that 61.3% like to do cunnilingus, and 32.1% of men from the total number of respondents explained that oral caresses from their side are possible only if a woman's pubis is shaved or there is an intimate haircut. And only 6.5% of the surveyed men consider cunnilingus a disgusting activity. But we should not forget that the attitude to blowjob and to cunnilingus is quite ambiguous. Men seek to induce their partner to blowjob in every conceivable and unthinkable way, fellatio for them, a fact in itself. And if a woman refuses a man in oral sex, the man considers it a good reason not only for offense, but also for parting. And cunnilingus is a very intimate thing. If a man, even quite inept fellatio, brings pleasure, then cunnilingus simply requires an experienced partner. And a woman usually does not immediately allow a man oral contact with the vagina. This is possible only with maximum trust of the partner to her chosen one. Let's try to find out why some men do cunnilingus to their female companions, while others treat this activity negatively or even with a certain degree of squeamishness. The first reason is that men like it. Yes, many of us get simply unheard of pleasure from cunnilingus, and not even because oral caresses are pleasant to the partner. There are probably two explanations for this reason. First, if a woman lets a man to the most intimate, it means that she trusts him, which psychologically adds confidence to the man, which is projected from the internal state to the external. The second is that he likes the smell of a woman. Paradoxically, there are men who enjoy cunnilingus more than the woman. It's also the way to a woman's heart, or body, if you will. Either way, the reason is blatantly selfish, but it has a place nonetheless. A man who wants to get something from a woman will pick up the key to her heart, and he is well aware that oral sex can play a crucial role in this challenging endeavor, because it brings her pleasure. The argument of altruists and just sensitive people who profess the principle, the main thing is to bring pleasure to the partner. It is good if the partner professes the same principle, and if not, then over time, the man will either change his approach to a woman or leave. Your man does a wonderful cunnilingus? Thank him by giving him an extraordinary blowjob. By the way, 73% of those surveyed responded that what attracts them most in cunnilingus sessions is the sight of a woman turned on by them with such an unpretentious activity and the realization that it is their due, simply because it's the custom. Just as it is customary to give a woman a hand, to give way to her, to let her go ahead, it is customary to give flowers on a date, to kiss her while walking her home, to caress her before having vaginal sex. This kind of man is set up to be automatic, and if he knows he needs to caress her clitoris with his tongue, he will do it, whether he likes it or not. The only question is how he does it and whether the woman likes it. Sex is an enjoyable time with your partner, whether it is as gentle as after finishing dinner or as emotional during a loud argument. It helps to release anger, express feelings, bring people closer together, or enhance mood. Medical experts emphasize that regular lovemaking helps to strengthen immunity, increase life expectancy, improve blood flow, cure depression, lose weight, and get rid of unpleasant headaches. Plus, it boosts the self-esteem of the partners so that they become more confident. In other words, sex is one of the natural functions of the body, allowing you to relax emotionally and physically. For biologists, few phenomena are as mysterious as the female orgasm. The latter plays an important role in intimate relationships with evolutionary roots of experience, a combination of muscular contractions, hormone release, and intense pleasure. But the variety of stimulation does not lend itself to careful grouping. Approximately 90% of women report orgasm from some form of sexual stimulation, including oral stimulation or from regular intercourse, except when it is not present during the entire process. It is worth comparing the rates with the opposite sex for an accurate picture. Nearly 100% of men usually experience orgasm solely from intercourse. Freud argued that women's ability to orgasm during intercourse varied according to their psychoanalytic development. He cites the difference in pleasure that is limited to the sexual act alone. The men surveyed distributed the highest peak of pleasure by focusing on always. Unlike women, impressions from the intimate side sometimes fade and cease to attract the partner by monotony, as if a person regularly performs the same actions for a day, bringing them to automatic impulses. Dissatisfaction in the physical aspect pushes to search for methods to resolve the situation. For example, women may think about looking for a new lover, attracted by the traits missing in the current partner. Sexual charge received from touching new lips, adrenaline from keeping a shared secret, touching an unfamiliar body, and exploring other people's horizons can provide a wide scope for fantasies about a vivid orgasm. In reality, the impressions of a new partner pass and return to the starting point in search of a way to relieve arousal. Erotic flexibility allows a mutual approach to solving the situation with a real partner, as it is enough to discuss the preferences of the other. By sharing desires and listening carefully to the desires of others, it is possible to come to a common compromise, to encourage the partner to spontaneity and unexpected reactions to their own ideas. A man likes to make a woman coony when she asks for it. Often people deny themselves non-standard pleasure because of the inconvenience of the request or embarrassment in front of the lover. But these are groundless worries, because experiments carry positive aspects for both. A caring partner is always interested in bringing a loved one to orgasm. Why do men like to do cunnilingus girls, and what attracts their attention if they do not experience physical pleasure? The reason for this is the moral side, because only a selfish man will not want to bring his beloved to the highest point of pleasure. In addition, often oral sex with girls is accompanied by laughter from tickling, mixed with moans and intermittent breathing. It is fun, harmless, definitely will not hurt, and allows a man to feel like a knight of a woman. Attention is primarily paid to the arousal points on the woman's body. The difficulty lies in the fact that the favorite technique does not necessarily work the second time. This deprives the possibility of constant reproduction of clever movements, but at the same time and increases the interest of the partner to search for new points. This is why men like to do coony. A young man will have to listen carefully to the breathing of the partner, languid moans, their tone to understand whether he acts correctly. For especially enthusiastic men, cunnilingus is a whole art. It is known that the main advantage of oral sex, stretching pleasure to the maximum. The myth continues to be that the only effective way to relax completely is to make love with penetration. The latter lasts only a few minutes, if only the internal points in women are engaged. Women differ markedly in the type of sensations they experience when touching the clitoris. This eliminates the possibility of creating a unique formula by which it is possible to achieve pleasure. On the one hand, There are girls who reliably trigger orgasm through vaginal or cervical stimulation without any direct contact with the clitoris or rod. On the other hand, the peak of pleasure is realistically obtainable only when the clitoris and intercourse are simultaneously engaged.